Hey, we're looking at fingerstyle technique and building a firm foundation for the right hand. Now, you've probably already done this with thumb rest. I am I'm. This is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and then. Now, each of these techniques is are separate notes and just arpeggiating separate notes. And you may want to, if you haven't done already, just do a little bit of work with your thumb working independently, getting that thumb joint functioning completely independently from your index, middle, and ring fingers. Now what we want to do is put two fingers together, and the two fingers that we're going to put together are I and M. Now when I say put them together, it's sort of literally put them together. Just imagine that you've got an elastic tied around these two fingers, these fingers of I and M. And we get by doing that we get a sound like this. I'll just put a G chord down here. Great technique. Now let's just notice what I'm doing here. As soon as I went into that technique, I put my A finger on the top string. Why did I do that? Well, you don't want to do this. And I will tell you something now. I will share a secret with you. I have seen this being taught, right, by some other teachers. This is wrong. See what I'm doing here? To anchor your finger on the top of the guitar at that position is wrong. Now, you may ask, how could I possibly say something so direct? I mean, some people just like doing that. It's really quite simple. If you look at the way your hand is constructed, you're creating all sorts of tension there that is unnecessary to put there. And when you have your hand like this, it's a no-brainer. Take a look. There's no tension in my hand here. If I take all of this lack of tension and place it on the string, I'm still happy and comfortable. If I put this here, I have no idea why I'm doing that. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So for those of you who have done this for years and years, and if you got a thing going on with that, go ahead, because it's already become comfortable to you. But for those of you who are teaching other people how to play, do not teach like this, all right? Do not teach people to put their finger, lock it down in a tense position for their right hand, because for one reason, it makes me mad. Okay, but for the most important reason, it doesn't work, and it'll ultimately be unmusical. And it'll create tension in your hand, especially with fingerstyle, because you have to play fingerstyle for, like, in some cases, like hours. And the last thing you need is to add artificial tension in your right hand. It makes absolutely no sense. There are stacks of books, thousands of pages in classical repertoire and in classical technique teaching and I can guarantee you that all of those thousands of pages of books, not one of them will show this finger being stretched out or any finger being anchored to the face of the instrument. Okay, back to where I was. Wow. So you'll notice that I had my first finger placed here, my A finger placed here on the top string, right? Because there's no tension there, and because it's very comfortable, and it provides me with stability. Okay. So now I've got my I and M placed, right? Comfortably. And they're just like, working together in a happy way, just like this, right? Completely independently, as if they were one finger. This is a trick to get this happening, because you sort of have to isolate, that I and M finger. But it's a really pretty technique. Let's change it to another chord. the thumb is always coming to rest. Get the idea? It works really well. It's very gentle and sort of pretty, but it still adheres to the same fundamentals of home position, right? So I'm not here when I'm in a home position, I'm not changing that at all. In fact, I'm still keeping my A finger on the top string for stability, right? I would move my A finger if I needed it for, if I needed a chord here, right? So, in a case like this, I may have to move that. But again, I'm always finding places for stability. In this case, I'm resting my thumb. C. Same idea. I'm just alternating my thumb right now. Sorry. You'll notice how my A finger went right back to that position of stability. So with the right hand and with developing a nice, solid fingerstyle technique in the right hand, you always have to think of exactly what you're doing. Like I'm in home position. I'm using rest stroke for stability. I'm using I'm using my A finger for stability. There will be lots of other ways to do that too as we move forward. It's a drag really to ignore the tremendous legacy that we have from classical guitar players going back a century and more, who have taken so much time to study the right hand and to give us solid technique and foundation for building a concept of the right hand that will ultimately become musical. So and music is what it's all about. Music, and in order to make music, you have to be comfortable and you have to rid your body of tension. So home position, no tension, and always looking for points of stability wherever they may be, in rest strokes or other points. And back to this, the original technique that I was discussing here is just strapping together I and M as one finger, and you can change up chords. You get the idea.